How would you like a completely free meta-exotic armor piece without having to own Lightfall? How about obtaining Last Wish raid weapons, and possibly their patterns, without owning Forsaken or doing the Last Wish raid? Or maybe you're fashion-minded. So what about an all-black or icy blue shader that was previously exclusive to 3-week seasonal events? Well, then Riven's wishes are for you. If you follow the discourse online and listen to other creators, they'll say this event isn't worth your time. I say that it's not as cut and dry, as it really depends. So let me explain everything, tell you how these wishes work, who are they for, and what you should get. To start, what are Riven's wishes? They are 6 weekly quests that task you to do a variety of objectives that are Taken or Dreaming City related. These quests and their rewards are completely free to all players. You don't need to own Season of the Wish or the relevant DLCs where the quest's rewards come from. So newer, free-to-play, or lesser equipped Guardians, this event is for you. These quests are 1 per account per week, so you'll only get 6 total Wish tokens over this event. So choose your rewards wisely. To get started, head to Marasov in the Helm to pick up the quest. Each quest, when they become available, will have a different requirement for completion. The requirements have been leaked, and I'll leave them in the description for you, but they don't express the complete picture, as you gain different levels of bonus progress based on the activity, and requirements are always subject to change. Additionally, don't feel rushed to complete them right away. You have until the launch of the final shape, so June, to complete them. Once you do, return to Mar to earn your Wish token and some cores. Just make sure you have some space in your consumables inventory for that token, as it won't go to your postmaster. Okay, you have your Wish token, now what can and should you spend it on? There are 3 categories of rewards you can choose from, with each reward costing 1 token. First up, Last Wish Deepsight weapons. All 8 of the Last Wish raid weapons are available, and whichever you choose will be guaranteed Deepsight, aka a red border. Once you get 5 red border weapons, you'll unlock its weapon pattern to craft it. If you have no pattern progress on a weapon, it'll take you 5 tokens, so 5 weeks, to unlock a single weapon. So, who is this for? If you have no interest in raiding, are a free-to-play player, or don't own the Forsaken pack, these weapons have great value in PvE as well as PvP. However, the game still requires you to own the Forsaken pack to be able to craft Last Wish weapons, even if you unlocked its weapon patterns. I hope Bungie changes this, as it's going to lead to a lot of angry players in a few weeks, but I'm not confident they will. So if you want to try your luck at getting a god roll or unlocking a pattern for it if Bungie changes things, then do so at your own risk. You have been warned. Your wishes are guaranteed to be more useful in other categories you'll see later. But to give my recommendations on what weapons to choose, go Apex Predator for PvE players and Nation of Beasts for PvP players. Apex is amongst the highest of DPS rockets due to perks like Reconstruction and Bait and Switch, while Nation of Beasts give you access to a very accurate hand cannon with perks like Keep Away, Opening Shot, and Explosive Payload, with also some PvE perks like Bolt Shot. If you do own Forsaken, then it's best to not use your Wish tokens on these weapons, as it's pretty easy to get a group to farm the first boss when it is the featured raid, and you have 2 guaranteed deep sights a week if you do a full raid clear with Hawthorne's quest. But, like I said, if you can't or don't want to raid, or maybe you just need a couple more to finish the pattern, then by all means. The next category are the exotic armor pieces that have released since Lightfall. Normally, you have to own Lightfall to obtain these exotics from either the Legend campaign, Legend or Master Lost Sectors, or the Vex Strike Force event on Neomuna. Now, all players can obtain these exotics, no DLC or Lost Sector grind required. So again, newer or free-to-play players, this is something I highly recommend you look at. This is especially true as once you unlock the exotic, so once you spend your Wish token on one, you can then focus any exotic engram at Master Rahul in the tower to obtain more of that exotic. It'll take some endgame resources, but it is a way to get powerful exotics without owning Lightfall. And I wouldn't blame you for not owning Lightfall, as all media continues to bash its campaign and narrative. Loot and Strand are great, just the story was a real letdown. If you do own Lightfall, it depends on your situation. If you're thinking about making another character, like say you want to swap from Hunter to Titan, then this is a great way to instantly get a powerful exotic. Or maybe Lost Sector RNG hasn't been too kind to you, so spend your token on something nice. That being said, if you want another way to unlock exotics, be on the lookout for Vex Strike Force on Neomuna, as the completion of the event will reward any exotic on a knockout system, even ones you haven't yet unlocked, so long as you own the required expansions. I'll leave a link to the Vex Network Discord in the description, as that way you can get notified whenever an event is taking place. Now, what exotics should you pick up? Free-to-play players, your choices are more limited as 5 of the exotics require owning the Stasis or Strand subclasses. So, Titans, Pyregale Gauntlets is for you. It is kind of your only choice as Arbor Warden is kind of a niche PvP pick, but Pyregale is amazing. It'll allow your Consecration melees to create a Flaming Cyclone, it'll condense your super into one mega Heavy Slam. Kind of like Curious Thunder Crash, but in hammer form. Excellent for boss DPS and general play. Honorable mention does go to Cadmus Ridge Landscape if you own Beyond Light, as it enhances Diamond Lances to the point of making Behemoth very good for endgame content. Don't believe the haters of this exotic. For Hunters, the choice isn't as clear, but I'd probably give the recommendation to Mothkeeper's Wraps, as it'll give all subclasses access to a second grenade that'll damage and blind targets, while also giving an overshield to yourself and allies. Otherwise, if you find yourself a fan of glaives, Triton Vice will do nicely, boosting glaive melee damage, adding projectile explosions, and grants a combo of the Overflow and Grave Robber perks. Plus, it did get a damage buff this season. For my Warlocks, it's between two. If you own Divinity, like using Trace Rifles, or want to be a team player in endgame activities, then Cenotaph is for you. It'll automatically reload your equipped Trace Rifle, and it'll mark high value targets that you hit with your Trace Rifle, which when destroyed by a teammate, will create heavy ammo for them and special ammo for you. Not a fan of Trace Rifles, then Briarbinds is a fun addition to the Void Kit, allowing you to freely move your little Void Soul buddy around and increase their damage. Get good at juggling your buddy, and you can have a whole fleet of them on the field with the amount of ability energy you'll be receiving. Last category are miscellaneous items. For newer or less equipped Guardians, if the previous sections didn't interest you, then I'd recommend buying the exotic Ciphers. The most annoying grind in Destiny are for certain exotics, as over 40 of them are only available to purchase from the Monument to Lost Lights kiosk in the tower, each requiring a cipher. And exotic ciphers are rare, as the only way to repeatedly earn them are from the once-a-week Xenology quest you get from Xur. Besides the value of certain exotics, there is the collection requirement for hitting Guardian rank 10, so if that's something important to you, then look at the ciphers. As to what exotics to purchase, it really depends on what DLCs you own. For free-to-play players, I advise against using your wish tokens on ciphers, as IMO, the Last Wish weapons and Lightfall exotic armor are way more valuable and rarer. For PvE exotics, I recommend Lemonarch, Izanagi's Burden, Leviathan's Breath, Wither Horde, Tiku's Divination, Aegir's Scepter, Grand Overture, and Vergla Curve. All of these bring something different to the table, like simple single target DPS, add clear, burst damage, and subclass verbs, so an exact order of what to purchase is a bit difficult. So choose from this list whatever tickles your fancy. For PvP exotics, I recommend Ace of Spades, Lemonarch, Thorn, Devil's Ruin, Wither Horde, and Duality. All excellent weapons to use and annoying to go against in the Crucible. As for the other items, the Ascendant shards and alloys you can skip, even players that don't have access to higher difficulty Nightfalls or the Coil. These currencies are now very easy to obtain, albeit slow, by exchanging currencies at Master Rahul. The last items are the new event Mementos, items you can only apply to crafted weapons that have a unique shader, tracker, and name. If you missed out on the Dawning or Festival of the Lost, or if RNG was unkind to you during those events, then take a look at those mementos. To decide before you buy, inspect any of your crafted weapons and scroll through your shaders until you reach the Witch Queen era. That's where you'll find the new ones. As you've hopefully seen, this event is a great way for a lot of players to get access to really cool, powerful, and unique loot. Free-to-play and newer players don't discount these quests. They're definitely worth your time, especially if you don't want to spend your money. For hardcore or veteran players, yeah, there isn't a whole lot of value here. If they had like a Bright Dust Pile, unique cosmetics, or Deepsight harmonizers, that probably would have gotten everyone else on board. Oh well. To sum things up as for what I would do, as a newer free player, choose one exotic armor piece for your main class and then use your remaining on exotic ciphers or chances at a Last Wish weapon god roll. If you want to gamble, or if Bungie changes crafting restrictions, spend 5 wish tokens to unlock one of the Last Wish weapon patterns. For players that own any or all expansions, and are okay grinding endgame content, then prioritize exotic ciphers to finish unlocking everything from the Monument to Lost Lights kiosk. For the hardcore players that own anything and everything, you can safely skip the event. Or dive in for some free exotic rolls or extra event mementos. Let me know what you are chasing, as well as other tips for fellow Guardians down in the comments. While you are down there, hit the thumbs up if you liked today's video, subscribe for more Destiny content, and come check out the Sundog Gaming Discord to make some more Guardian friends. As always, I am your Commander Pika. Be kind, have fun, and I'll see you on the battlefield.